Thank you for coming in, Mr. Reyes. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Yes. So, you're not going to like what I have to report. That young woman, yeah. Well, it's very simple. You hired her as a secretary. One thing led to another. You had an affair. She got pregnant. She gave birth. And, well, she tossed that baby into a dumpster. And, things being how they are, your housekeeper found the baby, brought it back to your mansion. Your wife was horrified, and she started to take care of the baby. She had the maid call Child Protective Services, but something happened and they didn't arrive for several days. And your wife, due to her medical condition, well, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Mr. Reyes, but the simple fact of the matter is, your wife has a medical condition where she has to use the breast pump on a regular basis, and she usually donates her milk to the local hospital for newborn babies who are unclaimed. And so she started breastfeeding the newborn that her maid had found in the dumpster. And, well, she got attached to the baby. And after a little while, your mistress vanished, gone. Mr. Reyes, I know you're not going to like this. I've been trying to find her. I've been investigating as much as I can, and, yeah. Well, Mr. Reyes, let's just say it doesn't look good for your wife. Mr. Reyes, you took one look at that baby, and you instantly knew. That was yours. Yours and your young mistress. You knew. And, well, guess what? Your wife isn't stupid. It took her a little while, but she realized that the baby she was nursing, because it was starving and needed milk, yeah, she realized. She knew. Mr. Reyes, I have plenty of evidence with me that indicates your wife knew. She knew about the affair. She was going to confront you with it. And then your mistress got pregnant. And then, well, that baby ended up in your home. And it took your wife a little while to realize it, but she figured it out. Oh, she was not happy. No, sir, she was not happy. But your wife is an extraordinary woman, Mr. Reyes. She didn't blame the baby. I mean, it's not the baby's fault it was born. But, yeah. Your wife, she knows. She knows. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when you head home, Mr. Reyes, but, well, she knows. Not sure what you're going to do, but, I definitely have the evidence, Mr. Reyes, but, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you're asking me, Mr. Reyes. You're a very intelligent, very successful man. What can I tell you? I do have evidence that your wife is the reason why your mistress disappeared and won't ever be coming back. As far as what you're gonna do, I don't know. I think probably the best thing to do is to head home and have a very frank conversation with your wife. Yes. Well, fortunately for you, Mr. Reyes, your wife has bonded with the child. And that child, yeah, well, I mean, even as a baby, there is a clear resemblance with you, the baby. I mean, if you think about it, Mr. Reyes, who's gonna know? Well, other than your wife and yourself, who's gonna know? I mean, your wife has become very protective of that baby. And, I guess the best thing you can do is just, pretend your wife is the biological mother. That's probably the best thing you could do, Mr. Reyes. I mean, as the baby grows up and gets older, he's obviously going to look like you. Heck, that baby already has a few of your features. And, well, your mistress is pretty much a younger version of your wife. I mean, your wife and the mistress, maybe don't point it out to the wife, but yeah, the two of them have quite a few facial characteristics in common. So if the baby ends up developing any of his biological mother's characteristics, well, you can just say it's your wife's characteristics. I mean, quite frankly, Mr. Reyes, the fact that your wife hasn't divorced you and hasn't tried to make you disappear like your mistress, that says a lot about her. Well, Mr. Reyes, I mean, come on. Seriously? I have to point this out to an intelligent man such as yourself. Clearly, your wife wants to work things out with you. Yes, sir, Mr. Reyes. Otherwise, she would have divorced you. She would have exposed you. Um, and maybe she would have tried to make you disappear. She hasn't done that. So, she obviously wants to work things out. She's bonded with that baby. It tends to happen when women breastfeed a baby, whether or not the baby is theirs. I would suggest not pointing out to her that the baby isn't hers. That's right, Mr. Reyes. I think what she wants to do, because your wife is not capable of having children of her own, but she does have that medical condition. I think it would be best if you played along with her. Well, Mr. Reyes, it's not like I'm a sleazy private investigator, but someone with your money, I think you could grease the proper wheels, get things in motion. I do know an attorney, a couple of counties away, specializes in family law. I could ask a favor, and he's very discreet. So am I. If you're worried about blackmail, there isn't going to be any. Just pay him a large amount of money one time. Pay me a large amount of money one time. And we can get the paperwork drawn up. Fake birth certificate that looks legit. I mean, after all, no offense, your wife is a bit of a recluse. No offense. Yeah, people haven't seen her in town for months. So, here's what we can do. Now, you mentioned that her maid plans on leaving for Mexico, where she has family. She's going to take all the money she saved up working for you and your wife, and she's leaving. Well, that's great. You don't have to pay her anything extra. So, she leaves. And then, well, when you hire a replacement maid, oh, there goes that darn generator again. Yeah, this place is falling apart. But when the maid leaves and you hire a new one, just tell the new maid that your wife recently had a baby, and then introduce your wife and the baby. There you go. Simple solution. As far as anyone knows, that baby belongs to you and your wife. All nice and simple, lots of legal papers, birth certificate, all of that. All good, Mr. Reyes, all good. Well, considering what's happening, I think it would be a good idea for you to keep your wife happy. And this whole thing goes away. Oh, don't worry about the details, Mr. Reyes. The local hospital? Oh, no, Mr. Reyes. You and your wife were on a trip to visit family in Virginia. And your wife went into labor a couple of weeks early. Oops, it happens. No problem. You went to the nearest hospital in Virginia, and that's where she gave birth. That takes care of the whole local hospital issue. And again, your wife being a bit of a recluse. Yeah, most of the people in town haven't seen her in months. They'll just assume that she got pregnant 9 months ago. No worries, no problems, no issues. You pay a one-time fee to my attorney friend, you pay a one-time fee to me, and I can guarantee you we'll keep our mouths shut. As for your wife, well, how you deal with her is going to be your business. But, yeah. Oh, don't worry about the evidence I gathered. Yeah. That's going to get buried. That's right. Just like your mistress got buried. Oh, trust me, Mr. Reyes, you really don't want to know what your wife did when she got her hands on her. You really don't. I mean, I could tell you all the gory details, but trust me, you don't want to know. Yeah, it probably would be a good idea for you and your wife to pretend that none of this ever happened. Yeah. One day there was no baby, and the next day there was. Oh, what a lovely blessing. What a lovely miracle. And just never bring up the issue of your mistress. And, Mr. Reyes, I would strongly suggest that the next secretary you hire, well, seriously consider hiring someone very elderly, or consider hiring a young gay man. Yes. I don't think you want to give your wife any reason to think that you're having another affair. Give some serious consideration to that young gay man idea. Yes, sir, Mr. Reyes. Yes. Well, you know what they say. Happy wife, happy life. And, yeah, with regards to your wife, that definitely applies. Seriously, I don't think you want to anger her, Mr. Reyes. I mean, yeah, when I said that she buried your mistress, yeah, she did that. She also did a lot more. Yeah, don't anger her. Yeah, it's best if everyone just pretends. Nice, happy family, husband, wife, newborn baby. That's right. All those hospital reports that say your wife can't get pregnant because her reproductive organs don't work. Oh, the doctor made a mistake. Of course he did. Of course he did. I'll be in contact with you very soon, Mr. Reyes. You'll be able to pick up that realistic-looking birth certificate very soon. Yes, sir. Have a good day, Mr. Reyes.